What's happening, YouTube? Genji here, and today we're going to be checking out Foundry, a voxel-based automation crafting game from Paradox Interactive. Someone who's put hundreds of hours into similar assembly line games such as Factorio and Satisfactory and even Shapes. The fact that this one adds the Minecraft-type destructible environment while sticking close to the existing assembly line formula made this one seem pretty novel to me, and since I recently launched it to its Update 2 of Early Access, I decided maybe it's time to finally hop in and check it out, so that's what we're going to do today. Let's start a new game. I assume we're going to be playing this orange robot fellow here. Foundry, Paradox Prime. Balanced in every way. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. And that seems like a pretty good place to start our trial of this game. So we're going to keep the vanilla settings and hop in. Uh-oh, we're hell diving.
Welcome, operator. I'm Carl, your facility management artificial intelligence.
Oh no. Introduction sequence.
Congratulations on acquiring a building permit and a derelict space station on this resource-rich moon. An ideal spot for industrial business endeavors.
Oh, you ain't kidding. Look at that.
My goal is to assist you in setting up this factory. Let's run a few basic checks before we get started. Open your map to check your surroundings.
M for map.
Fantastic. There are several ore patches in the vicinity. Equip your ore scanner from the inventory and use it to locate the ore patches.
How do I get to my inventory? Tab? Tab is bar. No, B, I see it down in the corner. B for inventory, okay. Ore scanner on 2.
To get started, approach both of the ore patches and mine some ore.
Xenoferrite. Okay, pretty standard approach. We are harvesting iron to get our base started. But this is alien iron, so we call it xenoferrite. Oh, I see. So there's actually, these are like nodes that are spawned on top of a larger ore deposit. So can I just go directly for the ore deposit? We can. Neat. So I assume our first order of business will be inventing and crafting some kind of automated drill that we can plop on top of this deposit. But first thing, we're going to grab all of the external nodes. We're also looking for technium blue ore, so let's scan for that. I think I see some. Yep. Directly ahead. Turtle. He's got a little butt. Oh, look at him. Interact. Rocky desert critter. We can pet the turtle. Yes. He's so happy. All right. Back to drilling. So this is, what do you call this? Technium ore? Okay, this I think is fully fabricated. I think we'll just grab a handful of this, enough to check off the objective. Good.
Great. Now that we have an initial supply of ore, we need to smelt it into plates and rods. Go back to your drop pod and use the built-in smelters to create your first crafting materials.
Cactusite. Oh, here we go. Okay, we come with our own little smelter by default. So where you can smelt technium on this side. Nope, rods. We're playing Factorio again. And then we do xenoferrite on this side. And does that take... No, it does not take all of it. Organize a little bit. So we can do 200 at a time. Plates and rods. Yep, we're playing Factorio. So we need... What is this task? We need 10... To smelt 10 of each, and then take 10 of each, okay? Take.
Now that we have basic materials
we're doing
available,
we're sciencing.
Start crafting building blocks which act as a foundation for other buildings. To do so, you need to open the crafting menu and click the desired items. Then, place them in the shape of a platform next to one of the ore patches.
Okay.
The orange ore will be in
Probably
higher
start with
demand.
iron. Would you stop?
With that.
So building block and crate. Yep. Craft 30 building blocks. Oh, okay. So we're gonna need more. We have to wait for more of our rods and plates to smelt here. So take what we got. I think that should be enough for. Not quite. Oh, no, we have enough. Yeah, we're at 40 now. Okay, so that makes what, 10 each? Yeah, produces 20 building blocks. Okay. So let's get to building. I think we have to put the. Oops. We have to put these in our bar. Yep. So are we building above the ground or replacing the ground block? We're building above the ground. So can we... Uh-oh. How do I pick it back up again? How do I deconstruct? Let's figure this out. C for crafting. Components, handhelds, metallurgy. I wonder if we need a specific driving item here to destroy it. So that's stuff from our inventory. Maybe we need some kind of special tool to disassemble things. Handhelds, mining drill, components. Nope. Okay, well, we'll leave that for now until we figure out how to destroy them. How close can we get to this ore? Right up on it, looks like. So we're gonna Minecraft this a bit. We have to place 30 of these blocks. Oh. Oh, facepalm. Yeah, we're gonna facepalm. Because we accidentally placed one in the wrong spot. Deselect is Z. Okay, I'm not sure what kind of shape we're going for here. I guess we're going to need like a production area, so we're going to want to build a like a squarish area in order to put our machines on. So we'll do something like this. Yep, 2 more. All right, let's build on this.
To automate ore extraction, we need to set up a drone miner. Craft one and place it on top of your foundation right next to the ore patch.
Just as I thought. Let's clear out the rest of these. One more. Clear. Okay, so we're crafting a drone miner, which we do... C. Structures, drone miner. We need machinery parts, which we get from... Where? Machinery parts here. Okay, we just handcraft those. We need 8. Like so. And then we need some more xenoferrite plates. So let's grab those. Dang, this thing is noisy. Good grief. Craft. Drone miner. Oh, it was automatically pre-assembling, or automatically assembling a component of the drone miner. I missed what the piece we're missing. So, place the drone miner on the foundation. So that's, I assume this is the foundation here. So can we rotate it? R to rotate. Let's just face the panel towards us.
Drone miners and most other buildings require power to function. Let's build a biomass generator on the same foundation as the drone miner.
Aha.
Once built, you need to harvest some plants and trees with your mining drill to collect biomass. Insert the biomass into the generator and it will start to power all buildings on the same foundation as the generator.
Satisfactory. You don't have to build just spaghetti networks of power poles. You just place everything on a platform that's connected to a power generation source, and the power is transferred through the ground. So we're probably going to need some more plates and such, so let me grab some more of this technium ore and get that smelting while we craft our automation components. Okay, that's the last of the above surface technium. Stick it in, get that rolling while we craft some more building blocks. Here we go. Be very careful with our placement until I figure out how to deconstruct these. Probably just look in the menu. Good enough. Just so we have a place to place the smelter. Deselect with Z. Alright, so our next order of business is to build a biomass burner, which requires 5x electronic components that we do not currently have, but it will make for us. That just takes technium rods and wire coil, which is also technium rods. It's technium. No, cancel. I'm a dummy. Biomass burner. Oops. Okay, I had to look up how to do it. So you press F to deconstruct for demolition mode, so we can boop, get that out of there and get that out of there. Perfect. Interesting that this looks like it's not actually placed on the foundation, even though it clearly was. So let's place that biomass burner that we just built right here. And where we put that? Let's put it here. Keep everything condensed in one area for management. And we have to get some biomass, which we'll call cactusite. Quickly collect some more. Whoops. Where we get this big guy. Oh, yeah. Alright. That should be enough for now. So how do we interact with this? Missing fuel. Do we have to craft it? Let's see. Craft. Handhelds, metallurgy, components. Where do we make these fuel? Oh, that's just the biomass. Okay. How do we insert the biomass? Here? Yes.
Go watch your mining drones acquire your first automated ore. Aren't they beautiful? Anyways, we need to get going. Let's build a smelter next.
There they go, my boys. Okay, so these are the Factorio drones that we get right off the bat, but instead of doing construction for us, they're just mining. So there's no like stationary drills. We're just constructing more drones. Oh, I had to step away for a minute. What was I on about? Oh, the drones are convenient because then you don't have to build a bunch of conveyor belts to move your raw components, at least for the harvesting section. I'm sure there'll be plenty of spaghetti belts to be made. So where are we at? We have to craft a external smelter. Things are slowly getting unlocked on our crafting list. Machinery parts. Yeah, might as well just build it with the parts that we have. Smelter. Okay, now we're out. But we have some waiting for us here at the ship. Yoink. Also, I noticed our drone stopped. Oh, because our inventory is full. So let's just grab it here. Oh, we just extract it that way. Okay. Are these the ports for automated extraction? And we use our flashlight L. Good. Our smelter is crafted. So let's stick it. Can we activate this? Like, I see this stuff is cluttering our tool belt here. How do we get rid of them? Right click. There we go. So can I just drop item auto sort? Do I have to put it in my bar first and then use it from there and then clear it from my bar? That seems a bit annoying. So let's put this on the opposite side here.
The smelter is more efficient than the inbuilt drop pod smelter, so you should start using this from now on. Another benefit is that we can automate the smelters to make our life easier. For this, you need to connect the drone miner to a smelter by using loaders and conveyor belts. Let's start by crafting the required machines. 2 loaders, one for the smelter and one for the drone miner, as well as a few belts to connect them. While you're crafting those, let us recap the plan.
Can you stop talking?
We will set up a basic factory to provide us with the most crucial...
Okay, I'm skipping you. I understand the assignment. So let's, I want to deconstruct this. Do I get it back or is it just loss? We get it back, good. So I actually want to put this here because I see that all of these components have ports on all sides of them. So it's not like Factorio where the buildings have set input ports and output ports. It looks like you can use these for either as long as you put a loader in the spot that you need it, which is awesome. So where's our loader? So let's build, we need 2 of these. One for extracting from the mining or the drone facility, and one for importing into the smelter. Let's replace our smelter here. We're gonna rotate. Okay, so we want the building here, so we'll put this like here. Now, do I need to power this? Probably, right? So let's build one more foundation block here, just to be sure. And then we can stick our, well, maybe the conveyor belts also need it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, one short. Oh well, we'll get to it. So belt, output belt here, and then input here. Intake, okay, it automatically detects what type it should be. So this is extracting from our mining drone facility and importing into our smelter, and then we just need some conveyor belts. And we get 2 each. So we go from here to get in there. There we go, look at that. And is this automatically working? It's automatically working. Our burner's still burning and our miners are still mining. We're on the road to greatness. So, let me build some more foundation blocks. I'm sure we're going to need infinite amounts of these. And let's actually go... Let's put our crafting stuff on the end just to separate it from our tools a bit. So 0 for foundations. And then we can continue to expand our smelting this way, although we are going to... Can I mine this directly? Don't do this at home, kids. Don't destroy our national parks, but for alien planets, it's okay. We need the space. Gonna put a second smelter here. Does this tell you what the production rate is? So like 22 units per minute, and then these are smelting... 20 per minute. 22 per minute, 20 per minute. Okay, so this actually... This is a 1-to-1 ratio. So you need 1 smelter for each miner, it seems. In fact, the yield actually dips a bit depending on how your drones are operating or how far they're moving from the location of the base station. But it looks like it's roughly one miner to 1 smelter. So let's go to 0. Pad this out a bit. And then where do we want to put a second row of smelter? Actually, you know what? Instead of expanding this immediately, let's actually duplicate this for our techite, which is over here. At least we have the 2 basic materials going instead of hyperfixating on one of the 2. So our base is this way, so let's clear the line of sight. Let's get these pesky columns that took millions of years to form through erosion. Let's get them out of the way. There we go. And we'll put our platform... Where? Let's put it on this side, I guess. Probably a bit bigger than necessary. Oh, we can drag. Ah! Fabulous. Oh, no. Get out of here. Alright, so now we need another drone miner. And we need another smelter. And we need 2 loaders. And there we go. A little bit more compact this time. Alright, so that's automated, that's running on its own. We're gonna have some more plates available to us here, 145 plates. Extract, okay, that's not take and give, that's extract and import. Alright, so those are 2 basic components automated now. So what's next? Craft 20 conveyors. Processing. Now, can we automate the loading of manufactured materials into crates, I wonder? Or is this just going to cap out? We're going to have to stay on top of manually coming over and grabbing them and moving them into crates. We still need some more conveyors. Let's see, this makes 2 each, so we need 2 more. There we go.
You have the machines necessary to connect the drone miner to the smelter.
Yep,
Now,
already done it.
Attach a loader to each machine and connect them with conveyor belts.
Already done it. View info DB. Press F2.
Great. We connected
I
the
understand
machines
conveyor belts.
and have automated the tedious process of moving items by hand. Isn't automation great? Now it's time to scale up and build more smelters. A single belt full of ore can feed multiple smelters using the power of loaders. The info database has a diagram if you need one. A loader only adds enough items at a time to a machine to ensure it doesn't stop. This makes it easy for you to have multiple machines fed by a single long belt.
So our drones are idle, so we are extracting more ore than we're able to smelt at the moment, so it's not a 1-for-1 input to output rate. So let's add some more smelters. And then we need some more loaders. Building on this side. Like so, and then belts to feed it. See? Alright. Both these are running now, and we'll do the same for our techium, which we already have crafted here. And on this side,
We have completed our initial mission of setting up a smelting facility. We've done a great job, haven't we?
who's this
According
we?
to our business plan, new machine blueprints will be created from research. My archive contains plans for a research server. Through material analysis, I should be able to provide a beacon blueprint, which we are going to need to notify the station of our planetary location. Let's get going and build a research server.
Okay, it's running. Uh-oh. Are we doing science packs in this? Research server. Under science. Yep, we're doing science packs. Oh yeah, they're literally, they're actual science packs. So technum rods. We are apparently out of, but that's okay, because we have them waiting for us to pick up here. Export. Export. Research server. Now, where do we place this? We extend our foundation to closer to the ship. Can we dig out from under the ship? We can. I don't know if it'll actually fall or if it'll just hover in the air. Alright, we're gonna need a whole bunch of building blocks. Like so. And our server is here. Low voltage grid. That's fine for now.
To advance in research, you need to make science packs. Craft a few by hand and insert them into the research server to research the beacon blueprint. There is a previously prepared drop pod with an additional robot assistant on the station. We can call it once we've placed the beacon.
Drop pod? Oh, we have to build a beacon for it. Gotcha. Insert science pack into research server and then research emergency beacon. So once we have our science packs, I guess we're just waiting now. I can probably turn off my flashlight. Export. Export, so we're waiting just for materials now, or for crafting now. Export, export. Let's clear some more space for our base. Alright, science packs are done. Like that? Yep. And then research interface. So we want to research. Oh, here we go. The tech tree even looks similar to Factorio. Neat. Damn, look at all these buildings. This is gonna be a long one. Start research. Oh. Can we go inside this? Oh, we can customize our man. Blue robot. Kind of like the white robot and our mining drill. Oh, we have to apply. Do a red drill, blue drill. Let's see. Not that it really matters because I don't think we can see ourselves. I don't know if there's even multiplayer, so I don't know what the purpose of customizing your character would even be. But we've done it.
We now have the beacon blueprint. Craft it and place it, but not too close to your existing machines. Those drop pods tend to land right on top of the beacons.
Craft an emergency beacon, which is a structure. Yep. So is this going to become a base structure that we're going to want to incorporate into our base? Or I'm just curious how far away from our base you're going to want to build this. And does it need to be powered? Oops, I want to right click on that. No, on that. Hopefully that's far enough away. One way to find out. Call for help. Press button. No, there it is.
Great. Now you might want to take a step back and look up.
There she is.
A real groundbreaker. This corporate command companion bureaucrat bot, C3BB for short, will help us with the administration of our factory. First, let's help him out of that drop pod by deconstructing and placing it in a safe location.
Deconstructing the whole drop pod? I guess they're just trying to teach us how to deconstruct, but we're already ahead of the game. We just destroyed our little buddy. Place the C3BB hub. Is this going to be a permanent fixture? C3BB hub. Yes. So we're probably going to want it to be powered. In that case, let's expand our foundation a bit. It should be good enough for now. place this. I don't know, here.
Welcome to the Ground C3BB. We have completed setting up our basic manufacturing
We got our own
infrastructure.
Star Wars droid.
What's the situation on the space station?
He's got a little dongle. Oh god.
It's about to break apart, you say? Spontaneous explosive
About
disassembly.
to?
That's extremely troubling.
Looks like it's pretty
What
well
now?
underway.
There's a working construction drone bay that we can use to repair the station? Perfect. Let's establish contact and repair the most critical parts. We need to research the space station terminal.
Alright, we got a little space point. You have a quest for us. Stabilize the space station. Beep, boop.
I agree. Preventing the space station from falling
Oh
apart
god, can he
is
just
our
speak for
highest
himself?
priority. Let's set up a connection and initiate emergency repairs. I'll guide you through the process.
What's the use of building a service droid that you have to have another robot to translate for you? Space station terminal, that's a research. So, is that this? Basic infrastructure. Assembler, burner generator. Character improvement. Where is this space station terminal that we're supposed to be? Oh, never mind. I thought that was the beacon again. Okay, so we're gonna need 3 science packs, and we still can't automate them. We're still handcrafting. 1, 2, 3. Made an assembler, so we need to get to that ASAP. Let's see, let's pick up our plates and rods. And we're gonna probably need some more power soon. This one's still at half. This one's still at half. Yoink. Yoink. It is starting to take up a lot of inventory. You may have to consider building some crates soon. And figuring out where to put them. Let's expand our foundation. There we go. And then build some crates. 1, 2. Loader support? No. Okay, so we do have to manually place objects into these. Where do we want them? Can we stack them? We can stack them. Can we label them? Did I put them the wrong way around? Oh, they're symmetrical. So let's put, I guess, plates in here. I should also make one for like miscellaneous garbage, like rocky desert dirt and stone blocks. Let's put our Technum rods. We have considerably fewer of those, but we'll put the extra stack in here for now. Dropping our science packs. Research is going. So, let's see. Assemblers is going to be the next step for sure, but to get that, we have to finish the space station terminal. Okay, so that'll be our next story quest, is to start automating assembly. So we can do away with having to run around with our drill and assembling everything by hand. Some more power.
Now that we have the blueprint, we need to build the terminal to finally get a connection to the station's command center.
You don't say.
Once built, open the control menu and start the emergency repairs upgrade. Luckily, the station has a pretty big stock of construction materials, so we don't have to worry about that for a while.
I guess we're going to need a place to put it, so we're going to need some more foundation. Let's see how big this thing is. That's pretty small. Place it. We can go a little bit closer to the dropship, actually. Place. That works for now. Contact space station. Galactic Commerce League Terminal. Honorary Galactic Commerce League member. Your application for a galactic trade license at the type GTL-0S or OS orbital station has been granted. By immediate effect, you are hereby authorized to operate an orbital trading station. Further, this license allows you to distribute your products throughout the galaxy. Upon completing this setup, your station will be registered in the Public Trading Post Register, allowing galactic customers to locate your station. To complete the registration, enter your company information below. Company name. We're gonna call it Ganji. Oh, that was Schedule 1. Genji Galactic. Let's do... There's no black, so we'll do red. And icon. Yeah, that kind of looks like us with our head tails and our snoot. Complete registration process. So we are a junk scavenger. We're space trash. And our space station is in ruins. Station upgrades. Oh, geez, look at that. Solar panels reactor. Okay, so we have an end game goal, which is pretty cool. That's something that's missing in a lot of these automation games. It's something to actually, like, something you're building towards rather than just progressing for the sake of progression. So we are rehabilitating our space station. And storage. Because we can store things in the space station. Not sure what we would do that for, but we'll hold off on doing anything here until we're given some more instruction. Initiate emergency repairs in the station. Okay, so do that from here. Construction materials. How do we initiate emergency repairs? Hull, maybe? Emergency repairs. Costs 400 construction material. Is that this? We have enough for sure.
Great. Our construction drones on the space station are working on their first station upgrade. This will take a bit. Let's shift our focus back to the factory.
So wait.
You're right, C3BB. We need to automate research and unlock more technology before we can get serious on manufacturing our first product. If we unlock the assembler, we can use it to automatically craft all the items needed for research. Use belts and loaders to fully automate the process. And don't forget to automatically bring the science packs to the research server.
Okay. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, so our space station, our highly advanced spacefaring civilization space station, in the event of catastrophic damage, the recovery process is to send somebody down to the nearest planet to harvest resources, restart civilization, and then construct a terminal to send a radio message back up to the space station that says, hey, you should probably fix yourself with the drones and the repair material that you already had on hand. Something doesn't add up here. But this is the universe that we live in, I suppose, so we'll play by its rules. We're going to research an assembler at the research facility here. Start. So we need 3 more science packs. 1, 2, 3. And that will probably end up being our first thing that we're going to automate, maybe. Aside from maybe like the machine parts and the subcomponents that we need to build the actual buildings. Let's just check on our fuel and our output on our construction. So we do need a little bit more fuel here, and we don't have any, so we'll just grab some. Just devastate the local ecology. Sacrifices must be made in the name of industry. I'm sure these native plants will understand what we're doing. We were fueling our burner. 100. Let's grab our inventory and bring it back to our crates. Yeah, we've got plenty. Same for our plates. Yoink, yoink. I wish our character was a bit less noisy. Good grief. This is rods. And then plates are here. That's fine. And then I do need to build another crate, perhaps, for all this extra stuff we're never going to use. So let's build a crate from here. Place. We cannot infringe upon the reserved space of the drone, or the drop pod, even though there's clearly space underneath it. So how about here? Alright, all this extra crap, get out of here. Blocks, seeds, and everything else I'm going to keep. Let's feed the science machine. Get our assemblers. And then we're going to have to build another platform extension, or foundation extension, so we have place to put our assembly. Like so. So we're going to want a bit more room for assembly, especially if we're going to expand output capacity. How are we looking here? So we're still fully stocked on ore with 2 smelters that are both taking 20 per minute. And then we're somehow... Oh, our yield was artificially low because we were probably at max stock already. Okay, so we can produce at least 40. So we may want to consider adding some more smelters. Can you get out of there? I need to build there. And then a smelter is where? Smelter. And then 2 more loaders. Actually, 2 smelters, so we need 1 for plates and 1 for rods. There's 1 panel on this side. Why are you here? Get out of the way. There's literally an entire open world for you to explore, and you need to be in the one spot where I'm building. Okay, and then conveyor belts. Yep, you are standing in the one spot in the entire universe where I need to be building. There. Now you can stay in your little jail there. Creature jail. Repeat the process over here. You need 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Smelter facing this way. Loader facing this way. And 2 conveyors. Bam. Now I want to move this up some more. Not strictly necessary, just for aesthetics. And we're out of building blocks again. Queue up another 100. Top you off. And we'll slowly kind of push these 2 together. Let's top you up. Oh yeah, you need some desperately. And I need more raw stock. Gimme. Okay. Fresh round of biomass. Drop off the extra stuff that we don't need. How do I get extra xenoferrite ore? Okay, so we're gonna do assemblers next. So let's keep expanding this way. What? Okay. Excavated a new chunk of area to put platforms on. See if we're gonna have enough to furnish it. Yep. Awesome. So now we have a place for our assemblers. Let's start with one, just to see what the deal is, then expand from there. Manage inventory. Can I put more in here? Unfortunately not. Oh, we can't put items into that inventory. Only drones can. Okay, here's our assembler. Let's place this. Oh god, they're huge. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Okay, the panel's on this side. So let's inset them by one, I guess. And then we're going to configure what we're producing here. So they want us to start building Science Packs 1. It takes machinery parts and technum rods. Okay, so we do need to build intermediary components. So let's start with technum rod. Well, no, technum rods is a raw product that's produced directly from smelters. So we have to produce machinery parts first. This isn't components, so that takes 0 ferrite plates. So we need to feed our plates into here via loader. So we're going to need another loader. In fact, let's just build a few. So we'll load from this side. And then we can expand in this direction towards our rod production. So extract, we need to extract as well. So let's do 3 more loaders. We're extracting from this side. I suppose we could extract from the back, right? We could do... No. Because that would interrupt our... We'd have to do... We could do it, actually. I mean, there's nothing strictly wrong with doing it on this side, but just for the sake of aesthetics, let's deconstruct these. So we'll have to tier our output, right? So we're gonna... Oops, too far. Here. Let's destroy this stuff. Destroy, 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 destroy. Let's replace the foundation that we pulled up here. And then we're also gonna need to break this. So what I'm thinking is, let me put loaders onto our bar here. So if the goal is to put input and output on the same side, we're gonna need something like, we're gonna need 2 on every smelter, right? And then we're gonna have to set 1 of each to intake and then 1 to output. Intake, output, intake, output. And then to feed these, we can't go in a straight line anymore. We're gonna have to have 1 set coming straight along the bottom and then in on each one. And then we're gonna have to have 1 set going up and over that input belt. Unfortunately though, now that I say that, I think we're gonna need something like splitters for that, and I don't know if we have access to splitters yet. Container, conveyor balancer, allows a split merge, okay. So we can't research that until we go through basic infrastructure, which is here. So let's start researching that. Maybe we can manually research that and then get that set up. So let's hand build some science packs. And then we'll start setting up our belts. So we can take our output belts at least. So this is our output belt. It's going to go this way, and this way. And then we're going to need them to immediately go up. So we're going to need the conveyor slope, right? So we'll do a few of those. Just going to have to wait for our science packs first. Okay, there's our science packs done, so we'll drop those in here so we can get this researching while we continue figuring out our belts over here. So back into our inventory, we're going to take our conveyor ramps. We're going to go up on the output, up on the output, and then up on the output. And then we can bring our input from the output of the drone miner. I suppose this one can just, well, no, we're going to need a balancer for that. So let's not start going off track already. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then we have to rotate this way. And then we'll stop there because I don't know what shape what footprint the splitter is going to have. So we'll stop here until our research tree catches up to balancers, conveyor balancers. Okay, basic infrastructure is research, so let's get conveyor balancers, unless there's a separate splitter. What is second lane? A loader with a 2-block pickup and drop-off range. Oh. So maybe we don't need the load balancer then. Because if it has a second lane, then we can just pass it directly through in a line. 2 pickup and drop-off range. Yeah, because then we'd have a loader and then a loader second lane that will stick out 1 block further. I'm guessing that's what that implies. Well, there's one way to find out. We'll take a loader second lane. We're going to start that research. And then we're going to hand feed in our research packs for now. So we can craft them while they're being used. And let's see what our buddy here has to say while we're waiting. What you got? Active task, stabilize space station. Beep, boop.
Danger averted. With the station secured, we can shift our focus back to the factory. Good job.
Okay, next, automated power. Beep, boop.
You're right. Collecting biomass by hand isn't future-proof. We should use ignium ore and the burner generator so that we can automate our energy production.
Research burner generator. Okay, so that's going to have to wait. We currently have a research project underway. Okay, there's the research complete. I did actually build a second server just to kind of speed things along. So let's go ahead and build one of these loaders. These tier 2 second lane loaders and see what it does for us. It will simplify our distribution here so we don't have to build load balancers. Let's go ahead and clear these for now. And check this out. So yeah, that actually does exactly what we needed to do. So hopefully, yeah, there's a I don't know why I pointed at my screen like you're gonna be able to see my finger. It has a pass-through area for the other belt. So we have a space for a input belt and an output belt. Perfect. So let's go ahead and delete half of these with F. Please. There we go. And then we're going to replace those with second lane loaders. And one more. Boom. Awesome. Okay, so now we can take this back. Nine, and then we're going to just go straight in this direction like we used to have it. And then we're going to need some more conveyors. We're going to need a lot of conveyors, so I might as well queue up a whole boatload of these. 9, so now we can build belts like so. And these should be, they're currently set to intake for some reason. I was hoping they would auto-detect, but we can manually switch these to output. So now we have our inner belt is our intake belt, our outer belt is our output belt, and then these plates should feed into our assembler. This, and then like so. Beautiful. And then this conveyor is going to be creating machine parts for us. And they're very loud. So, just like before, we're gonna need to pick up some more rods, I think. Scoop. So we are going to need another loader. Oops, not that loader, that loader. We're going to take our output from here, and then I guess we're going to need a place to actually start storing these things, unless we're just going to feed those. You know, we do need to make science packs, so let's just go straight into another assembler. Let's destroy the ore, you know, and destroy the extra blocks we don't need. We are going to need some more fuel soon. I think we're getting low again. Yep. So our next step, I think, after getting these science packs automated is to go check out this burner generator. Let's quickly top up our burner here. Yep, easy. So our adjacent assembler, where's the front? Right here. I guess we'll do it directly next to it for now. Now let's take a look at what it's going to take, and then we'll move it if necessary. So, configure assembler. So we want our ultimate goal is to produce science packs. So it needs machinery parts and technum rods. So we have the machinery parts are going to come directly from next door. So we can take this line. Maybe we're out of conveyor belts again. We're probably going to automate those at some point. So we can take this line and feed this directly into as the input into this assembler here. So we need one more, and then we need a second lane loader. And we'll drop this here. And this will be set to an output. And this is an intake, so this is half of our materials required for science packs here. So now we need to build a long assembly line to take our rods. So let's do a second. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to clear some room here so that we can get these crafting while we're clearing. Good enough. I guess let's stick the second lane loaders on our belts, since we're going to be using so many of them from now on. So this needs to be flipped around like so. 2, 3, and then conveyor belts. Here. Here. Actually, let's just drag it through like so. Set these to outputs. Output, output, output. All right, and now we just have to extend this all the way over to our assemblers. So I'll get that running, and I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, so I've got the conveyor belt extended from our smelters all the way up to our assemblers. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a first row loader, which is on 8 here. We're going to feed it in here. Then we're going to take a second lane loader. For our output. Like so. So this is intake, intake, and then output. And we'll run this in parallel. And so this is going to be producing science packs. So now we need to get this into... We maybe need to relocate our research terminals, or science terminals. But I think I might put them on the back side of this, facing this way. That way we can take these into another loop behind our research stations, our research computers. We just need to connect Can I get this without breaking the belt? Good. So we just need to connect power to where our research computers are going to be. So let's grab those right now. Let's deconstruct these. Please. 1, 2, and then relocate them on this backside here. So what we're actually going to need to do is loop this back around again. Like this, and then we can expand our research indefinitely or infinitely as much as we need. We are going to need some more building blocks though, so let's use some more of those up while we fill in spaces. And we're going to need more conveyor belts. I think that'll be the next thing. So we're going to do burner generators next, because we are running into some power issues now, but then we'll automate some conveyors, because we are constantly in need of conveyor belts. So let's spin this around this way, and then we'll go back in a line like this. Does that work? I mean, we could potentially put some space in there, but that's fine for right now. And then we need to empty out or build some foundation for our research terminals. And then a row for the loaders, actually bring the science packs into them. This is a way to like put him into back into the station that he cannot wander around because he's constantly in the way. Alright, so what I'm thinking is something like this, although we're gonna need... How do these work? So it's one square and then the actual loading. So it's going to be like this. And then our loader... Is that even? Yeah. Okay, so then our loader is going to go here. Building belt. And then one more here, I think. Yeah. So they're taking in science packs. I guess we do have some extra here, so we may want to disassemble the extra conveyor belts. And we'll just load these. Oh, no power. Really? No power? Why not? It's connected. Does power not transfer underneath belts like this? We still have the, or is our burner out of power? Ah, okay. I misunderstood the problem. Okay, so we need some... We really need to get those burner generators online. Just gotta finish up with the science first. Let's take some of these big trees. 20 each. 38 each. And all we have to do is level an old growth forest. Oops, too far. We're going right here. Power up. So let me undo our little excavation we have here. For now, doesn't quite match up, but close enough. Stow that extra. Okay, we powered up now. We are perfect. Okay, so now we can start researching containers. Oh, we can start building interior buildings too. Nice. But we're going to focus on burner generator next. So where in the tech tree is burner generator? So we need the ignium ore scanner first, I guess, to actually detect the ignium deposits. So we'll do that. Start research. That's going to take 10 science packs. We've got some rolling in now, but I also have some in my inventory, so let's manually load those in. There we go. That's fine. This is producing... Okay, this is actually pretty slow, so we could probably do with another... Oh yeah, we're maxed out on machine components here, so we'll take another assembler. We'll double our science pack production. Can I just keep summoning you? Stay right there. I'm going to build a little fence to fence you in at some point. Our grid status is strained. Whoa, we're producing 600 of 900 that we need. Okay, so we're actually gonna need a second burner here. Or we can just deal with it until we get our ignium online. I think our research is flying along quickly enough. Although we could probably use some extra handmade science packs just to speed things along. Here we go, some artisanal handmade science, just in time for the research to be complete anyway.
Scanning. That'll come in handy. Ignium is an ore that is highly flammable and can be used for automated power generation. Research the burner generator to utilize it.
Aha.
Ignium is buried beneath the ground. Use the scanner and your drill to find it.
Oop, we're going cave diving. All right, so let's get the generator researching while we go play around underground. Okay, everybody's got science. Everybody's got science. All right. Let's hit that scanner again. Oops, that's on 2. And there it is. Right here-ish. Pretty close to the surface. Let's build ourselves a little Minecraft staircase. Oh yeah, it's like right on top of the surface too. Neat. Let's expose as much as we can for the drones. Good. Maybe a little more here. And then a way for me to get out of here. So, I assume we're going to need to build a drone station here. Now, does it need to be on the same level, or can I actually build it, like, up here? And we'll build a platform here, and then we're gonna need to pipe this low voltage power back to our base. We're gonna need, like, a... Is there power line distribution, or do I just have to build a platform? Let me take a look at the research station again. Research interface. I did see... Okay, this is lights and railing, so it's not power distribution. Oh, I didn't actually click start. That would help. No, we haven't really produced much science since then. I guess is the... Is it that strained? All the more reason for us to get this power online. Alright, so I'll just dig just a straight shot all the way over here, which was... Where was it? Here. Okay, so we're gonna have to go this way a tad. Okay, so there we have it. So now we have some power distribution from our main panel, our main foundation, back to where we're gonna be constructing our power production over here by the ignium ore. So I'm assuming we're going to need both a drone miner to mine the ignium, which is going to need well, it doesn't necessarily need temporary power, because we can, I assume, mine the ignium by hand. Just enough to get the process started, and then once our burner generator research is done, put this here. Okay, so there is a range on it, and it does display the range that it can mine in. So we put this here, and it'll be able to grab that ore. It says no power, which is interesting because I do have this connected unless this is just fully unpowered. Like our burner is out of fuel again, which looks like maybe the case. Yep. Damn. We're straining our resources. Let's get some more trees. Get this back online. There we go. Burner generator's almost complete. They're running at... only one of them is active. Nope, none of them are actually active. So let's make some... Let's handcraft some science again. Actually, this one is running. So I guess we need one assembler per research station, seems like, in order to provide enough science packs. So we will need to get one more assembler online. But first we need some power generation, so we will get that going first.
That's
there
a
we
lot
go.
of new technology. The recently unlocked burner generator will be crucial to automate energy generation. You can send ignium ore from drone miners right into it. It's also more efficient. Our next task is a big one. It's time to make some profits. According to our corporate strategy document, there is a very simple transport robot design we can make with our limited technology. This transport bot shall be our first product. Yes, I know. We need to get it to the station to sell it. For that, we'll use shipping pads. Spaceships can land there to transport items between the planet and the station. We will need to buy our first spaceship. We still have some Thermalite stored on the station, which is the galactic currency.
Galactic? Not galactic?
A broken hangar? All right, we'll have to repair it before we can buy a ship. Operator, you know how station upgrades work. Let's go.
Where is... There it is, our burner generator. Okay. So, we do need... Oh, man, we need some more foundation here. No big deal. Expand. Burner generator. And we want this to be level with the drone miner on the back. For the purposes of loading. Okay, so the loaders do need power. We'll do that, and then the belts do not. Okay, that's fine. So we'll export from here, and then we might as well just input directly next to it. Feed it with belts. Get in there. Beautiful. We're burning. We're polluting the atmosphere for our power. 1.8 megawatts. Okay, that's a huge boost to our power. Our grid status is very good now. So does this mean we're only taking up like 5 to 10% of our total capacity? I assume so. We don't have to worry about this for a long while, and our bots have fully stocked us up on ignium. So now we can focus on getting our research centers, or our research stations, fed from the assembler. So I'm going to need one more assembler, I assume. Because production of these science packs seems to be at about the same rate that they're consumed. So let's make another... Oh, we have the assembler already. We'll place this adjacent. And then we'll need to... Ooh, we didn't take into account our plate bolt. What is this intake? Taking it... Oh, it's taking in rods. Okay. So we will need to rethink this a tad. Let's move our research stations. Can we take this back out of here? Yes. Give me all your research. And we're gonna break you down. Loaders and all. And belts. And output. Okay, so you're making machine components, so we are going to need machine components for all of our research. So let's continue this belt. this way. And then we're gonna need another second layer loader here. And then another first layer loader here. Right, and then our output. Where's the output from this guy? I do this right, so you're taking in machine parts here, and you're taking in... Oh, I think I double fed machine parts into... Which one of these is which? Yeah, I did wrong. Okay, so we're gonna move you back one to here. And then machine parts from here. And then we need to get our output. Yeah, that's the challenge. There's no... I assume there's no third layer loaders. So, how can we do that? We're gonna have to take one of these belts and stick it all the way out and then do load balancers to break off the components. So let me plop down one of these research servers just so we can see our research tree again. Just make sure there's not a third layer loader before we overcomplicate this. Conveyor balancer. So where on the tech tree were the loaders? Here. Oh, this is just stuff that's already done. Transport bot. I guess we just scroll down the list here. Conveyor balancer. Conveyor balancer 2. Greenhouse, logistics, container. Yeah, I don't see another loader type. So we're gonna have to finagle our inputs and outputs here, so let's get rid of you. We're gonna move our machine parts. Okay, so we've got input of rods. Then we're gonna have, let's just do one first to prototype this. So then we're gonna have, where does this start? You start here. So I guess we can make this our do input, input, output. So input, input, and then output here. This is going to be an output, right? Yeah, that's all three on this. Okay, so let's build this up just so that it can keep producing in the meantime. No, that's not going to work, is it? I guess we'll have to output from the front and then wrap it around. Because we have to handle 3 loaders per assembler, and we only have the capability of 2 lanes of loading or unloading. So even if we were to break this out to a third row and then use load balancers to wrap our input back in, we're still running into the problem where not necessarily, because if we load from the front, let me see. Let's try it. So if we spit out this way, We wrap around this way. Oops. And then we load from the front for each one. That opens up another space. And then for the output, we'll have to go like immediately down. Now, can we do that? Let's build me some conveyor slopes. I assume the conveyor belt that's underneath the loader itself has to be flat. And then we can immediately go into a conveyor slope, like so. Oops, I put it the wrong way. Conveyor slope here, and then how do we change direction? Mode slope up, hold right mouse button. Ah, slope down. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so then we slope down, and then we can build. Can this go over this? Not here, so we'll have to go out one more row. Like this. And then we can go across, like so. Let's deconstruct this and deconstruct this. And then we can bring our output belt underneath. And then back up again on the other side. That is going to interrupt our power distribution, though, although I don't think it matters on this side. So we need one more slope. And this one's going to go right mouse button, slope up. Like so, yeah. Does this actually solve our problem, though? Because now we still need... We've got... Intake will come from here. So this will be a load balancer here to split off into this. So it'll be like a conveyor belt here. So we've got input for rods coming from this way, which we're going to go power this because it's offline again. So intake here, output here. So the problem that we have, I think that might be sorted, because now if we build another second layer loader, second lane loader, rotate, put it here, and then another output, or another 4 output here. This is going to be output again, and so now we'll need another load balancer to break off into this. Although we may need to, let's see what the load balancer actually looks like what kind of footprint. We may need to swap the input and output here, just to make space to put the load balancer, but I think this might work. Because then our input, yeah, let's do that. Just we're gonna run into a footprint issue with this underground passage here, so we'll put our 2 outputs together on this side, so we'll basically do like, we'll mirror each other, so 1, 2, and then we'll copy this pattern again right here, so then the outputs will be in the center of the 2, and I think that should solve our issue. Because then we need to take, yeah, so our rods are just going straight through, and then our machine components are coming out a bit, being load balanced and split off back in, and then our output belts go underneath that and out. So let's get our research computers back up, or at least one, so we're going to need to research the load balancer in order to complete this this layout. So let's put one. Let's put some blocks back. Well, no. Let's put let's make these foundation, like so. And then we'll have to pick a direction. I guess we'll go... If we're expanding our assembly line this way, then let's take our output belts are going to be coming from here and here and here. So then let's make our return belt go this way. We'll get this out of the way. Something like so. And then we'll need load balancers to combine these two belts together. Let's go ahead and get this set up with a similar underground passageway here. We'll need one conveyor belt going this way, need one conveyor belt here, and then we'll need two more conveyor slopes, one going up and one going down. Perfect. And then this will continue going this way. Then we'll have a loader splitting off into the second intake here, or a load balancer even. So let's get one computer laid down here. So we're gonna load, we'll give it like 2 lanes for load balancing maybe. And for right now, we're just gonna connect this directly up. So we'll make a, we'll turn this way and then feed into here just so we can actually start researching that load balancer. Start. Oh, I guess we can actually place our other computer since we're just feeding these in a straight line. And then we'll build this here directly adjacent. Right, and then another loader here. And extend the conveyor to that. Oh. I mean, that does work, I just built it backwards. Oopsie. There we go. Let's load the stuff that we hand collected back into it. And there we go, okay. So we'll give that a few minutes to finish the load balancers, and we'll figure out how to finagle them into our production line here. I guess we can temporarily connect this conveyor line so that we're actually producing science packs for the moment, and then we'll load balance this. Alright, what are you whining about? Automated power.
We did it. Automated power generation is the backbone of every factory.
Expand smelters.
Okay, math genius. If it takes 8 small smelters to fill up a conveyor belt, then we'll build 8 for each metal ore.
Is that the ratio? We need to fuel our rod production burner until I can expand our power line out there. Actually, that may be a good idea to just do now. So let's go, I guess we can just go under our conveyor belt. That way we're not doubling up runs. Okay, so there's our foundation connecting underneath the conveyor belt all the way back to our main area. So this should all be on the same power grid now, which should save us some running around fueling up burners. I'm just going to drop some dirt back in here to cover up these trenches on either side of the conveyor belt. And here. All right. Good as new. So our research for load balancers is just about done. There we go. Let's build one. And see what we got to do to work it into our existing infrastructure here. Turtle. Don't want none of this, turtle. Conveyor balancer. Okay, so this is gonna go. So it's 2 by 2. So we're essentially gonna have to. That means we're gonna have to move all of our computing stuff back one tile, which isn't the end of the world. So let's deconstruct. There we go. So this needs to be a 2 tile wide underpass, basically. Like this, and then we'll have to deconstruct these two in order to make room for the up ramps. Like so, and then our load balancer is going to look like... Ah. Yeah, we can flip this around, right? Back that up just a bit. Okay, so our load balancer is going to look like this. And then we're going to have one conveyor belt going this way. And then one conveyor belt running this way. And then we're going to have another load balancer here. Yeah, that is problematic, isn't it? Okay, so I think I got it. So here's what I came up with. So I had to swap the intakes on the machine component to put the output, actually. To put the output first, so that we had enough room to circle around into our load balancer here. And then I changed the inputs and outputs on each of the science pack creators to be rods, and then machine components, and then output, so that we have enough room to put a load balancer in line with the input for the machine parts on each side. And the outputs on the end will both be down underneath the belt that's bringing in the machine components, so this will actually continue. We can expand our assembly line this way, and then build more and more and more. And then we just need to take the science packs. Let me just make sure that both of these are operating. Configure, we want this to be making science packs as well. Here we go, science and science. So then we just need to collect the science packs into a single belt again with more load balancers. So let's build a couple more balancers. And then, here they are. So we're going to collect these running this way. So we're going to have to go out one more time, I think. Maybe not. No, we'll do one here, and then one here, and then this will just turn like so, and then the actual main belt will feed this way. Same for you. And then other assemblers can also feed into this belt here, so this will all run this way. I don't know if we have to configure these somehow. Let's see what happens when this one. This one should come out this side. Yep. Yep, so with the exception of the one that's going to sit on this side, all of the other production is going to come through this outer belt Then all we have to do is once we get past where we're actually producing the science packs, well, we can do one of two things. We can start our research servers here and then move them this way, or we can bring this in, loop it around, and then bring it back this way so that all our machines are kind of facing in the same direction. So it's a whatever type situation. I have no problem doing either, although I guess since we already are basically kind of building in a line this way, so it might be a good idea to do a loop here. So we'll do like this. We have to make some more conveyor belts. Then we would do a loop, come back this way. And then our servers would go here. I think that's enough. Because we're going to need loaders. We're going to need a row for loaders. So these will face this way. Right, 1, 2. And then we'll have loaders here. Grabbing and grabbing. Then we can just pick up the excess here. And disable the extra just so there's nothing extra being left ungraspable by the servers. And we'll manually put in everything we have in our inventory, and then we'll get back to researching again. So next we're going to want maybe containers to start automatically loading excess materials into storage containers. Or, let's see, our quest wants us to build a transport bay, right? Transport, bot, assembly, and shipping. Okay, so let's grab that. That's going to take 20 science. Make sure everything is running smoothly here. Yep, immediately get scooped up there. So I don't know actually, unless this gets full of science, I'm not sure this one will ever actually receive science. So that may be, we may need to do a separate set of balancers for that, because I assume the way that the balancers work is whenever it receives an input, it toggles back and forth between the outputs. So one comes in, one comes out this side, another one comes in, it comes out this side, and then this side, and then this side. So we can load balance so that each of our science machines is getting an even amount of science, or we can just wait for the first one to fill up. I'm not sure what the maximum amount of science is. I assume it's probably like 200 like everything else, so that may take quite a while. So a separate row of load balancers might be a good idea. So what we could actually do then, is move the servers back one level and then use a second layer loader to extract directly from this here. Yeah, that would be a pretty great setup. So let's do that. So they're going to be grabbing from here. And these conveyor belts will just go one space out, like this. And then the servers will go say, we go directly in the center, so here, and then here. It should be going into the center of each one. Yep. So, okay, research is still ongoing. That's good. They remember their research even after being destroyed. Yeah, so what we should see happening is, as the research comes in from the production line, it'll get load balanced. I guess right now, the way it's working is each one of these machines will be supplying one research center, but theoretically, if we drastically improve our yield on science packs, as the main belt of science packs comes in, one will get popped off, and then the next one will come through, and it'll continue through, and then it'll get popped off, and then so on and so forth. So this is, right now it's not functioning that way because we don't have the science pack production capacity, but we are evenly feeding each of our servers here. I assume. So let's see, this guy's coming in. So he goes this way. So the next guy that comes in should go this way. Okay, it did. Okay. Perfect. Now this is researching, so that's exactly what we want. So that's good for our research purposes for the moment. So let's go ahead and get back on task. Oh, and we got containers, which, don't worry about that next. So we have to repair the hangar bay on the space station, which is done from here. Station upgrades. Hangar. Basic hangar repairs. Let's get that running. Buy a small cargo ship and task it with planetary shipping. I assume we have to wait for the hangar bay to be repaired. So what can we do in the meantime? We're still over capacity, or we're still over production for both of our raw materials, so we can build more smelters. Although we don't have anything to really consume them at the moment, so that's not really necessary right now. We could build containers to start shoving the excess into containers, but ideally you're simply matching your consumption to your output, and then you don't need containers at all. How are we looking here? We're still full up on rods. Yeah, so we're basically right now we're just waiting for tech tree unlocks so that we have more stuff to construct. Okay, there's our hangar bay research, so now we should be able to buy a cargo ship. We have a spaceships tab here. We don't own any, so buy. We only have access to a small container ship. It takes 1 hangar space, has a capacity of 1,000 kilograms. Shipping pad size and fuel consumption. Okay, so we're gonna have to build some kind of landing pad and some refueling facilities, I assume. So we'll purchase that. It should check off, task it with planetary shipping. Do we do that from here as well? Spaceships, cargo ship, aha, current assignment. Assigned task, planetary shipping. So we're gonna be moving stuff between planets, or we're gonna be moving stuff from the planet's surface up to the space station. I'm not sure exactly what that denotes. We do need to place a shipping pad. Logistics container. Where is a shipping pad? Science. Robots. Transport bot. Is that? Configure the shipping pad to deliver transport bots to the station. Shipping pad. Shipping pad. There it is, shipping pad. Okay, let's build one of those. And then is this... Let me just build one of these so I can see what it is. If this is a facility or an item. Transport bot can only be made in an assembler. Ah. Okay, well, give me an assembler then. And then we'll find a place for this... Oops. Find a place for this... Oh my god, it's humongous. Oh boy, where are we gonna stick this guy? We don't want to... Yeah, I guess we can stick it here. We're just gonna need to clear some space first, so let's get rid of some rocks. And you... And that should be enough space. Let's see, we're gonna be loading from this side, so let's kind of get this lined up with where our lines of plates and rods are currently. So something like this, maybe? And then we can load balance out this way. So is there a terminal here? Yes, there is. Shipping pad, control panel. Configure shipping pad. Transport wares from the factory to the space station. Yep. And then we're going to take transport bots. Pick the minimum amount of items any cargo ship should move. Can be changed later. Yeah, that's fine for now. So now we're going to have to, I assume, assemble them.
Quite a lot, right? But it'll be worth it. Just one more step to make some cash. We can convert an old hangar to a sales platform from which passing traders and customers will be able to buy our products. Once built, we need to enable sales through the station command menu, and then we wait. You'll be notified about sales every hour.
Oh boy. Alright, now we're going to need some more space for assemblers, so I don't want to intrude upon our line of science packs. So I guess since we're going to be building our research stations this way, then we can build some more assemblers going this way. I do need to see what these transport bots are going to need, though. So we need plates, machinery parts. We have both of those. We're going to need another assembler for electronic components. So let's see. First, we have to make sure that we can get our plates and our machinery parts to the same location, because our plates stop right here and our parts go this way. So we're going to have maybe another... Now we can do one of two things. We can load balance the parts again and send them this way. Machinery parts, plates, parts, components. Although our electronic components are going to take Technum rods, which are coming from that way, so we may want to just make an overpass. So we'll load balance off another conveyor belt of plates and then go up and over the top of our machine parts, and then our machine parts line can continue down this way, where we'll place some more assemblers for robotics components. So I will actually need to replace this somewhere down here, because this is where we're going to be assembling the robots that we're actually sending out. So we can get started on that. So let's get another load balancer. Let's say here. Let's get this out of the way first. Okay, and then we'll put our plates. I don't want to go directly adjacent, because then we're going to run into an issue with trying to load balance off of each of these lines. So we'll do plates here on this line. So our load balancer needs to go... oops. Well, I'm going to need them anyway, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. Our load balancer needs to go here. So we'll actually need to go up one more. And then come back. Like this. And then like this. And then this can go up, so we'll need a ramp. We need 2 ramps, actually, one to come back down. And then we can fly the plates over the top. Let's see, we have 12. Let's build them a whole bunch. So these will fly over the top of our research packs. And then at some point, like this. This is a bit messy. We could probably debating how I want to lay this out. Like we continue our smelters here to meet our demand for plates. Okay, so there's plates and machine parts. So now we also need to split off some rods. We need to put that somewhere in here. I need to build this back up first, though. Just get everything on the same level. And we can put... It'd be nice if this was like Factorio, and you could actually build the balancers on top of your existing lines. Oh, structure is blocked by another structure, but yes, that is what I want to do, though. I want to build this here and then just have it automatically absorb that conveyor belt, like you can do in Factorio. But since it cannot, I'll have to do it by hand. So we'll take this out of here and this out of here, and then grab our balancer, put this here. Or we can stick it right here. Here, get out of here. Okay, so we want to split this off here. So you're gonna go this way. You're gonna go here, and then you're gonna go this way. Okay, so this is everything we're going to need for production of drones. We're going to need one assembler to make electronics components from rods, and then we're going to need another assembler to make the actual drones. So first off, let me fill in these gaps. Get out of here. Like so. And then we don't necessarily need to clear these, but just for visibility. Let's get rid of these two. And then we're going to build our assemblers on this side so that we don't... Can you get off of me? Being crushed by a giant boulder. There we go. Well, we could do one of two things. We could put it here. We could continue it this way because our servers are going to be going this direction. So we can continue extending our foundation this way. So let me dig out a big patch for more assemblers. Okay. So here's some more platforms for assemblers. So this is a bit slapdash at the moment, just for early game, because what we'll eventually want to do is get into our main belt situation where all of our materials, our frequently used materials, are all in a main accessible bundle, basically, that acts like an artery through the base, and then our individual production areas will kind of pull off of that artery, produce something, and then spit it back onto the main artery. But for right now, we're just trying to get our early game production online, and we can worry about optimizing things later on. So we are going to just build our extra assemblers out here off in the distance. So we'll take put some space between this and the servers so we have access to the servers for research. So we need one of these for production of... let's not... Here, let's do it this way. Just so we're not... Our intake's not on the same size as our interface, or the same side as our interface. Let's do it like this. And this is going to be producing electrical components, electronic components, so we need... Oh, actually we need two. We need wire coils, and then more technum rods for electronic components. Okay, so wire coil. So let's grab input. I need to pick up some raw materials real quick. Gimme. And And then, you know, we have some rods down here already. So we'll just grab these for now. Yeah. Okay, so actually, we kind of did this inefficiently. We've got our first order ingredients on the outer belt. But that's not the end of the world, so we'll put a balancer. Just give me a bunch of these. We're gonna need a ton. So these will go here. Like so, and then we'll be continuing the main line this way and splitting off one line this way, and then we're gonna have to take our main belt and put it underground. So starting from, I guess right here is fine. So these 3 blocks in order to continue this way. Like this, and then we'll build ramps down. Do I have any ramps currently? No. So let's give me 4 of these, since we'll need to come back up on the other side eventually. These are gonna go down, and down, and then our main rod belt is gonna come across this way. Oop, how did that happen? Need you to go straight to here, and then a loader to grab off of that, and so these are going to get busy building no foundation. Oh. Oops, okay. There we go, we have to power the loader. So let's just build another row here. Power the loaders. Okay, so you're stamping out coils. So then we'll take another assembler. And let's also be researching at the same time. Research interface, let's get mining drill speed up, I suppose. I guess if you could do Q research. No way, I don't have to keep manually going back and picking something and starting it. Okay, so we're producing wire coils here. So what we're going to want to do with them now is spit them back into the middle here. But where? We're gonna have to go out like a whole nother row and then come back in. That way we can keep our rods and such in a straight line. So let's go. Let's grab another loader. And this is gonna have to come out this way. And then can we go over? This is a bit messy. Slope up, like so, and then back down. This is going to be output. So here's our copper cables, our copper wires. So then these are going to turn this way. Oops, I put this the wrong direction. Where'd it go? Here. So these are going to go down like this, and then we're going to turn this way. And we want this to be 1 over, like so. And then we'll continue our machine parts. I think that's connected. Nope, they're not moving, so there's a gap here. There it is. And our plates until we need them. Then we've got our bus is continuing this way. I guess we could actually, since this is 3D, we could actually build a main bus like up so that we have a tower of belts. But I don't know how that's going to work with load balancers. I guess it really wouldn't matter because you can stack load balancers, right? You can grab a load balancer. Hey, you can stack load balancers. So we could do these all on top of each other. Maybe we'll look at that down the road a bit. But our output is full for right now, so we need to build another assembler to deal with electronic components. So this is going to take 2 of our materials. So we're going to need 2 load balancers. We've got 4. Yeah, here's the annoying part is that we're going to have to space the assemblers out a bit more in order to make room. So let's delete 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to stick the load balancers on our tool belt since we're using them so often now. So we need 1 load balancer for rods, which I guess we can technically move this back a bit. 6. There we go. And then we'll have to move this forward 1 square. Like so. And probably going to complain about foundation. So let's just take care of that right off rip. Same for here. Okay. Now, let's set this to make our electronic component. So we're ready to split off going this way, right? And then we'll go right to here and then slap a loader. So there's our technum rods, and then we need copper plates as well. So we're going to need another load balancer. Here. And this is why we put a space in between each row so that we can fit more load balancers. So then this is going to continue down this way. And then there's our copper line. Our copper line will be here, so this is going to go down this way. Oh, we're out of belts again. And so our issue is going to be... Yeah, maybe we do want to stack these on top of each other. This would be super simple if they were stacked. Without it, we need another space available to kind of wrap these around into a belt ramp. So if let's break this down. And let's see if we can start stacking our belts here. So we'll do 1 on top. That means this is going to go away, and then this is going to turn this way. Here we go. So now we have vertical distribution. And now our main copper wire highway will be on top of our rod highway. And our splitter can come this way. Let me get our loader in here so I know where we're taking it. Eight. So let's get a loader facing this way. And then we're going to need another slope, right? Going down. Like so. And then one more into there. Beautiful. So we may want to redo the distribution lines for our parts and our plates, but we'll worry about that when we actually need them. Now we've got our main artery for 2 materials. Now we're going to need more assemblers. Let's keep digging. There we go. 1 more assembler. We do need to now output from here. Oop, I did that wrong. 8. Here we go, building on that side. So this will be our output. And this is going to have to go back into our conveyor here. So how are we going to get a 3rd row here? We might be building 2. Our assemblers might be a bit too close to our belt highway. Okay, here we go. So we're actually gonna take our output and go down under the main artery and then bring it back up on the back side and then form a new layer on top for each one of these. That way we can keep stacking materials onto one bus. So our next assembler is gonna go right here. And we're 2 gaps between each one, so 1, 2. Yep, foundation again. Okay. Fill that in, so now this is operational, and this we're going to take all of our combined ingredients to make transport bot. So we don't actually technically need to continue the copper this way, but we will, just for the sake of having our artery, and then we will need to... I guess we don't technically have like expandability this way, but it doesn't really matter per se, as long as the higher level items are further down. So we need, so for example, if we need more copper wire, we can build another copper manufacturing plant right here, and it can spit onto the copper highway. And then if we want to build another robot production assembler, as long as it's further down the line than the extra components that we need to assemble them, then it doesn't matter because everything is being spat back out into the same bus, right? So let's get this guy fed. So we need 3 inputs here, which means that we'll be forced to output from the front on this one, because we only have so much input on each side of the building. So we're gonna have to pull our rod. Well, no, this doesn't take rods at all. So we're gonna have to actually extend our plates and our machine parts over. So let's do that. So we're gonna go under our rod line, and I'm going to come up on this side like this. So a ramp down. Let's build some more ramps. Ramp down. Ramp up. Connect that, and then these are going to have to go way up. To get over the top of these. We're gonna go this way, and then we're gonna go this way. And this is gonna go on top. So we have all of our parts stacked, and we're gonna have to do this one more time for our plates, which are coming from here, and these are already elevated, which is good. And these, actually, if we start this here, then we should be able to just elevate this. I'm out of ramps. I thought I just built a bunch. I just used a bunch too. So 1, 2. Can I squeeze through here? Okay, yes. 3. And that's the next layer up. So then we can start bringing these forward. There we go. So there's all the components that we're going to need for these drones that we're building. Now we have to start pulling materials back off of this bus. So for this, again, we're going to need plates, parts, and components. So our first is going to be here. We're going to need a lot more belts. And we're going to need more loaders. And we're going to need more balancers. So if we place this here, I just need to go back 1. And then place this here, right? And then this will loop off. This will turn and then go down. So give me one of these, and then a bunch of ramps. So let's put the ramps on our bar since we're using them so often now. So these are going to go down this way. Uh-oh, we're not going to have enough. So this one, we have to go this way and then go back underneath. Okay, here's what I've come up with. So we are pulling off the backside. So we're gonna start with the lowest lane first. The lowest lane. And then that's going to come down and turn around and go into the machine. And then we pick the next lane off. That comes down, goes around one tile further out, comes around, goes back into the machine, and then repeat for the top lane, ramps down, comes back one further lane out, and then joins the input back in. So now we've got all 3 of our components going into the intake of this machine. And then we still have all of our main bus lanes flowing uninterrupted, which was the whole goal of this. It's not the most efficient for sure, considering how much space we need to offload materials from these upper buses. So I'm hoping further down the tech tree we'll be able to unlock elevators of some sort that can act like buses almost, that can pop off materials and then just take them straight down. Well, I guess we'd have a balancer and then feed that into an elevator, which will then go down and then just have columnar distribution of our materials instead of having to use ramps to bring them back down. But this works for right now. So we've got all of our input coming into this machine. We are now producing our transport bots. So now we have to spit them out and then maybe put our transport platform in this direction. And we can output directly from the front. So let's do 8. We can output directly from the front of this building. And then go a ways, constantly running out of conveyors. Let's see, does this need to be built on a... Does it specify if a thing needs to be built on a foundation or not? See, the loaders do. And of course I don't have any loaders, so give me one. Requires foundation. Okay, so this does not require foundation. So we can just plop this down right here for now. Actually, you know what? Let's go out so that if we have something else, we need to break some stuff. So if we have some other materials we need to load into this, we have some extra space to do it in. Clear some space. Clear some space. Get out of here. Okay, let's drop this again. So let's line this, the leftmost input port up with our current output, and we'll just push this forward a bit so we have some space to lay down some additional distribution belts for other types of constructions. There we go. We'll set this to an output. And here go our transport bots that we currently have built. And these are going to go straight into our... Oh, we need to... Oh, no. Okay, there's 2 input sides and 2 output sides, so that still works because we're doing input into the input ports. But we do need to configure the shipping pad to take transport bots from here and send them up into space. So there we go. Now we're loading in. And so we're going to give this... let's end the episode with our first launch of products into space. So we're going to let this run for a bit until we have 25, which is the minimum required for launch, and then we'll watch the launch. Here we go, 25. So here comes our cargo ship. Descending from the heavens. Nice. Okay, so it's going to get loaded up. Slowly. See, we can't actually see the materials getting loaded into it, but we can assume it's happening in there. Let's take a quick walk around it. Cool. There she goes. Delivering our first batch of constructions, products into space. Alright, well I think that's going to be a good breaking point for this first episode. We've hit a good milestone. We've gotten our base started. We've gotten our power production underway. We've gotten our manufacturing and our research started. We've got our assembly lines for our first, third order products, our galactic trade goods, and then sent them into our space launch system in order to send them up into outer space. So we're good to enter the galactic trade market. I do like this game. I hope we can get more into the actual, digging and scrounging and manipulating the terrain, because that is the main draw of this that separates it from something like Factorio or from, more appropriately, Satisfactory. But I do like that this game actually has more of a clear end goal in mind, that we're producing this stuff for a very clear purpose of selling them on the galactic market and or outfitting and repairing our space station. So that is a good thing to have for later on in the game, but we still have plenty of tech tree to climb and materials to gather and stuff to discover before we get there. So if you're enjoying this playthrough of Foundry, hit like and subscribe. If you want to check out Foundry for yourself, head over to Steam and pick it up. And if you want to let me know what you think of the game so far, then hit the comments down below. But whatever you do, I'll see you right here again in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.